Be a go-giver and a go-getter, all right? Be a go-getter, right? Be that person who takes charge. Be that assertive person who goes out and gets what they want, right, out of life. But be a go-giver to do that, to facilitate that, all right? And give, give, give. That's what this my channel, my website, my community. That's what I'm all about. Hey, welcome back. It's Rob here, bringing you chapter 17 of Brian Tracy's The 21 Success Secrets of Self-Made Millionaires. We are on chapter 17. We're almost to the end of this thing. I hope you've changed your life by now. Obviously, I'm somewhat kidding, but really, some of these changes you can make and see results pretty quickly from some of the ideas in this book and some of the strategies he presents. And so I hope you've had some success with putting some of this stuff to work in your life. If you want to know how I am doing it and the things that I took from this book, besides these little short synopsis videos, you can head over to the website at yoursoulsource.com/resources. And when you get over there, you can sign up for the email newsletter, and I will share my notes with you from this book, and I will share anything you want. You let me know. But, that's an important element, especially as we dive into this chapter, which is get around the right people, all right? Get around the right people, because everything is relationships. And that's what Brian Tracy talks about in the chapter early on, that most of your success in life will come from entering into the right relationships with the right people, right? People who want to support you and want to help you and who you can help and support in return, right? Everything is relationships. Most of your problems in life probably stem from, and I know this is true for me, they probably stem from entering into the wrong relationships with the wrong people, right? And then you wound up in a spot where you didn't want to be. And that was due to a poor decision in terms of getting involved with someone that you shouldn't have gotten involved with, right? A business partner embezzles a bunch of money or something. Clearly you needed to vet that person, right? A little differently than you did. And that's okay. These things happen, right? That's how we learn sometimes. Unfortunately, it's how we learn through our own experience. One of the things that I want to do here is share my experiences with you so that maybe you can avoid some of the mistakes that I've made, all right? And so that's one of the big things about this channel for me as well, is I really want to be able to send that kind of support your way. The kind of support that says, don't do this, because this is what happened to me when I did it, right? But again, everything is relationships. And so I again invite you to become a part of the community, because these are the right people. They are the success-oriented people, the like-minded people that strive for success and want to push to the top. And that's who you need to be around, right? Self-made millionaires constantly network, all right? They're always looking for new relationships that they can build. And when they do, they are not looking to pull things out of that relationship in return, okay? They are looking to be what Brian Tracy calls a go-giver. They are trying to bring business for someone else, right? You meet somebody, and, I'm in construction. Oh, hey, great. What kind of person are you looking for to work with? How can I bring you some business? I know some people, That's the kind of thing. That's being a go-giver. And the interesting thing to me in this chapter that Brian Tracy says is to be a go-giver and not a go-getter. I get what he's saying, but when you think of a go-getter, you think of someone who is action-oriented and who attacks the day and who takes advantage of opportunity. And those are all the things that he writes about throughout the whole rest of the book. So I don't know why he says not to be a go-getter, because that's the first thing we think of. Now, what he means in this sense is to be a go-giver and not a go-getter, meaning you're not trying to get things out of people. You are trying to give to them, all right? And it's wonderful advice. I just wish he had phrased it a little differently, because it's a little confusing to read the whole book or listen to it, whichever, and then be told not to be a go-getter in chapter 17 when the whole rest of the book is all about being a go-getter in the traditional sense. So it's just kind of a funny thing for me. But this is the action step, so I'm trying to anchor it in there and make it stick for you. And maybe you'll remember this go-giver, go-getter thing, but that's what I want you to do, if you don't do it already, is to be both. All right, be a go-giver and a go-getter. All right, be a go-getter, right? Be that person who takes charge. Be that assertive person who goes out and gets what they want, right, out of life. But be a go-giver to do that, to facilitate that. All right, and give, give, give. That's what this my channel, my website, my community. That's what I'm all about. I love to give. I love to see people grow. I love to help and teach and learn, from other people, and that's really what gets me fired up and what juices me. And so that's everything. Of this whole project is all about giving to you. Okay. And so if you are getting value out of it, that's awesome. And if you want to throw a like on the video, that's great. And if you want to share it with someone, that would be awesome too. But what I really want you to do is comment down below, because that keeps the conversation going, right? And I want you to let me know, what do you think about this whole go-giver, go-getter thing? And the way he phrased it in the book, maybe. Or what do you think? Have you ever thought about being a go-giver before? Have you ever thought about at a function networking with people and then finding out immediately what you can do for them, how you can help them to make a new deal, to bring some business their way, right? If you haven't, it's a worthwhile project, all right? So get started on that. That's my advice, all right? But again, it's not my advice. It's Brian Tracy's advice. I'm just the reporter here. So another thing that he talks about, which is really important, especially when it comes to getting around the right people, is your reference group, okay? Now, I've got a little different take on your reference group than many people have, and I feel that it's the most effective way to look at it, because we've heard, and it's now become a cliche, that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. All right. So that's not exactly the original source quote from that has been twisted into that statement, and that's what has stuck for some reason, and a lot of people. They will spout that as the wisdom of that phrase. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. That's not it. Okay, you are the average of the 5 people you associate with most closely. Okay. Now I understand how it got twisted. You associate with. And people think immediately, oh, I associate with, right? I spend time with this person, so spend time with, and so that's how it got kind of misconstrued. But and I do not remember. I'm gonna look it up, and maybe I'll put it in the notes for the description down below if I can find the original source, the person who originally kind of created this idea of your reference group being the top 5 people that you associate with the most. So you associate yourself with. Okay, and so what does that mean if it doesn't mean spending time with them? Well, it can, okay, but what it also means, and what the original intent was, is the people that you aspire to be like, or to be, they have qualities that you aspire to, all right? Maybe not be like them, that might be a little strong, but they have qualities that you admire, that you want in your life, right? And that is the associative principle that is being talked about in this quote, okay, about your reference group. So your reference group, it's a huge key, but it is the 5 people that you associate yourself with the most, okay? They might be long gone from this earth, okay? They might be, maybe you associate yourself strongly with someone's ideals, Gandhi or Mother Teresa, or Ben Franklin is one that Americans kind of gravitate toward, and he wrote a really great autobiography where he kind of explained a lot of different things throughout his life that he went through and how he handled it. All right, and Thomas Edison's another one. I mean, these people are long gone off our earth. That doesn't mean that you can't associate with them, but you can't spend time with them, right? Because they're gone. But they left behind a legacy, and they left behind these thoughts and these ideas that we can still learn from, and that we can still gravitate toward, and we can still aspire to. And that's the association that we're talking about when you're talking about your reference group, all right? So that is where that came from for me, is because I kind of dove into the original. I'm a big person on this original kind of thing. Like, I want to know the origin of something. I don't just want to know what people I don't just take things at face value, is what I'm trying to say. I dive in and I go into the history of it and I try and figure out. And you'd be surprised sometimes that some of the things that have been beliefs that are kind of spouted about. Another one is never judge a book by its cover. Completely perverted from the original statement. Okay, the original statement is you can't always judge a book by its cover. You can't always judge a book by its cover. That implies that there are times where it's appropriate to judge a book by its cover. But somehow that got twisted into never judge a book by its cover. So these are the kinds of things I like to dive into because I like to know the origins of them, right? And so the origin of this reference group thing, again, it's just what you associate yourself with, okay? Could be people you know in real life. Could be people from the past that are no longer with us. Could be people you've never met before. They're still alive. Maybe you'll meet them someday, but you don't know them yet, right? I've never met Michael Jordan, okay? I've never met Tim Grover, who I mentioned in the previous chapter, Michael Jordan's personal trainer. I would love to meet them both. I don't know if I ever will, but it doesn't stop me from taking the values of success and the values of winning that they used to and still do, obviously, in their real lives now, but not on the court. But those values and those traits, I can still pursue bringing those things to my life, right? I don't have to know them personally. I don't have to spend time with them physically. So get that out of your head about your reference group being the 5 people that you spend the most time with, okay? Unless you want to, if you want to expand it yourself and say, okay, I'm spending time with, this person or the other because I'm reading their book, or I'm watching a course, or I'm going to a seminar and I'm watching, Gary Vee speak at a convention, so then of course you would actually be spending time with him, but not in the sense of like hanging out and we're buddies kind of thing. And that's really, I think, where a lot of people get misconstrued with this reference group thing. So again, completely my points of view here. If you disagree, let me know in the comments. I would love to see it. If you agree, let me know in the comments. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I just want to know what you think, because that's what really gets this thing going, is everybody's thoughts and everybody's contributions, right? So again, I invite you to join our community. That is at www.yoursoulsource.com/resources. Get over there, get signed up. I will share my notes with you. You can share your notes with me. We can go back and forth about these things here in chapter 17 or any of these other chapters of Brian Tracy's book or any of the other books, the videos that are on this channel. I welcome it all, and I would love to see you there. And if I see you there or not, but I hope I do, I will see you next here on YouTube when we do chapter 18. See you then.
I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me.